My name is Sierra Ficasio. I'm presenting my thesis research on physics in the world around us, the connections between physics and religious studies. Denoma argues that religion and science are two completely different areas with no overlap. While Christianity is not one of the four religions that I talk about in this thesis, the most common example of this idea would be evolution versus creationism, as many view both ideas as separate with no flexible room. This is a perceived conflict that comes from a lack of understanding from each side. There's a conflict not only with the argument of science versus religion, but there's also extreme views to both sides. The Noma and Dawkins, the God delusion, both the Noma and Dawkins, the God delusion, are extreme takes from the standpoint of a scientist, stating that either there is absolutely no overlap between the two, from the stance of Noma, that there is no place for interdisciplinary discussion, and from the standpoint of Dawkins, that there is no scientific way possible that a God would ever exist. This is a problem, especially in current day society, because it takes a hostile environment for discussion from any other standpoint than the opinion one person has. And when there's so much tension and conflict between two big groups, such as science versus religion, there becomes little to no room for open discussion about issues that plague our societies worldwide. And when there's no willingness to listen to others, there becomes lots of separate groups of people that refuse to work together for fear of judgment. I focused my thesis on exploring the similarities between nature-based religions and physics, both of which view the world as an interconnected system rather than a structure governed by moral rules. Nature-based religions like Hinduism, Taoism, Buddhism, and paganism see life as a continuous flow of energy and change, where natural events are part of a larger cycle, not defined as good or bad. This perspective aligns with physics, where forces like gravity and energy operate without moral judgment. Both fields emphasize balance, harmony, and interdependence in the universe, and I also compare scientific concepts like the Big Bang and quantum mechanics with religious ideas such as creationism, showing how both science and religion share a focus on the relationships and cycles that shape our lives. It concludes that rather than being opposites, science and religion truly can work together to deepen our understanding of the universe. And my thesis argues that science and religion, particularly nature-based religions like Hinduism, paganism, Taoism, and Buddhism, can intersect in meaningful ways. These religions view the world as a system of interconnected forces, similar to how physics sees the universe. Both believe in a dynamic, interconnected world where everything is interdependent, and actions are guided by natural forces rather than moral rules. This aligns with how physics describes energy and matter interacting without moral judgment, emphasizing balance and harmony. When a greater understanding is had between science and religion, it promotes unity between those involved in religion and science and creates a bridge for inclusive discussion rather than having two sides that don't understand the basis of each other. And while my thesis is only focused on these four religions, the same would be true for most of the world's religions. By creating a more tolerant environment for discussions rooted in environmental issues specifically, there can be more productive decisions made about what will affect society, whereas scientists can provide insight about future implications of environmental issues and engineer feasible solutions. Religious groups, on the other hand, can offer ethical insight into implementing these solutions in a way that can benefit humanity as a whole. And instead of both groups coming to issues at their own, it's important for both to join together to tackle current issues. Climate change in particular is a big example for this and a big topic for discussion right now. And an example of these two groups coming together, recently Pope Francis advocated for climate change, where he says that it's the duty of humanity to stand up for environment and protect God's creation. And Pope Francis was recently joined by Muslim, Protestant, and Jewish leaders in this discussion. And at the same time, scientific organizations have also been increasingly open to engaging with religious groups on these issues and finding a common ground on the importance of sustainable living and environmental protection. This is just one of many examples showing how this can be done in the world around us, which is why this research is so important.